Hey everyone! Today we're diving into something that pretty much anyone in tech has felt, that feeling of complete IT chaos. We're going to break down how you can turn that constant firing into a calm, controlled, well-oiled machine using just a few core ideas from ITIL.
So let's set the scene. You know the feeling, right? The service desk phone is just ringing off the hook. Your inbox is exploding with emails all marked urgent. And every single ticket feels like a brand new crisis. It's this state of just constant reactive panic where you're lurching from one fire to the next. And then you get this call and your heart just sinks. It's the third time this month, and you know the entire sales team is completely dead in the water because of it. Next, a chat message pops up. I mean, it's a simple password reset, but the user's panic makes it feel like the whole company is about to grind to a halt.
And, just to top it all off, you get that vague complaint. It's slow. It could be literally anything, but it's hitting dozens of people, and productivity is just tanking. This is the reality for so many IT teams out there.
Look, this cycle, it's more than just stressful. It is incredibly damaging. It burns out your best people, it makes the users you're trying to help miserable, and at the end of the day, it just destroys the business's trust in its own technology. So the big question is, how do we break out of this cycle? Well, that is exactly what we're going to do today. First, we're going to acknowledge the chaos. Then, I'll introduce you to the ITIL playbook. From there, we'll get into the nitty-gritty of handling daily disruptions, and then how to find and fix the real flaws underneath. I've got a fantastic comparison guide to make it all stick. And finally, we'll lay out a simple roadmap to get you from that chaos right into control. So what is this magic playbook? It's ITIL 4. And please, forget everything you've heard about rigid, bureaucratic rules. That's not what this is. Think of ITIL 4 as a really flexible framework, a smart playbook, designed for one main thing, to help you create value. It's all about bringing a sense of order to service management so you can deliver reliable, consistent services that the business can actually count on. All right, let's start right on the front lines with the two practices that handle every single interaction between your users and IT. These are the ones your users see and feel every single day. First up, we've got incident management. The purpose here is crystal clear. Get things working again and do it fast. This is not about finding the deep, mysterious root cause right now. It is about stopping the bleeding, putting a bandage on it, and minimizing the disruption to the business. So the main activity here is basically triage. You log what's broken, you figure out a way to restore service, and listen, even if it's just a temporary workaround, and you get that user back to doing their job. Speed and restoration, that's the whole game. Here's a perfect example. The payment gateway is down. That's a critical business function that's just stopped working. Boom. That's an incident. The team's immediate all-hands-on-deck goal is to get that gateway back online, period. Okay, here's a classic exam trap, a real point of confusion for a lot of people. A single printer breaks down. Is that an incident or a problem? The answer, it's an incident. Think of it this way. An incident is any unplanned interruption to a service. So even if it's small, if something that's supposed to be working is now broken, you're dealing with an incident. Now let's switch gears and look at service request management. Notice the keywords here, predefined user-initiated requests. This is totally different. This isn't about something breaking, it's about a user asking for something they're supposed to have access to. The key activity here is fulfillment. Honestly, the best way to think about it is like ordering from a menu. A user goes to a service catalog, they pick something standard and pre-approved, like getting new software or a password reset, and the IT team just follows a simple, repeatable process to deliver it. And this is the perfect scenario for it. See? Nothing is broken. A new employee just needs something to do their job. They make a standard request, and it gets fulfilled, often automatically. Clean, simple, and efficient. Okay, so now that we've got a handle on the day-to-day stuff, we can finally level up. It's time to move from just fixing things to actually preventing them from breaking in the first place. This, right here, is where real IT maturity begins to take shape. And that brings us to problem management. Its purpose is all about getting to the root of why incidents keep happening. It's the detective work that comes after the crime. The goal isn't just to fix the symptom again and again. It's to find and cure the underlying disease. So what's the key activity? It's investigation. The team does what's called a root cause analysis, or RCA, where they dig really deep into those recurring incidents to find that one single underlying issue that if they fix it, will stop those incidents from ever happening again. Remember our payment gateway going down? Well, one failure was an incident, but 3 failures in 1 month? That's not a coincidence. That's a pattern. And that, my friends, is a problem. So a problem record is opened, an investigation happens, and it turns out the root cause is a faulty server that needs to be replaced. Great, we found the problem, but how do we safely replace that server without breaking 10 other things in the process? Well, that is where change enablement comes in. Its entire purpose is to make sure that when we implement a fix or an update, we do it safely. It's all about managing risk, getting the right approvals, and scheduling the work so it causes the least amount of disruption possible. Okay, we've just covered the 4 core practices. Now, for the moment of truth. Let's put them all side by side in our ultimate comparison guide. This is designed to make the differences totally clear. Seriously, this is where it's all going to click into place. This table just simplifies everything. Let's walk through it. Look at the goals. For an incident, the goal is all about one thing: speed. Restore service fast. For a service request, it's just about fulfilling a standard need. For a problem, the goal is to be a detective, to find the root cause. And for a change, the goal is safe implementation of a fix. The triggers are just as clear. An incident is triggered when something breaks unexpectedly. A service request is just a user asking for something. A problem gets triggered by those annoying, recurring incidents. And a change? That gets triggered when we realize we need to fix a problem or add something new. This table right here, this is your go-to guide. So now you get the practices, but where do you even start? How do you actually go from that crazy, chaotic state to one of calm and control? Well, here's a really clear, actionable roadmap to get you there. Step 1 is to just stabilize. Get your day-to-day operations under control by getting really good at incident and service request management. This builds trust with your users and gives you good data. Then, step 2 is to control your environment. Bring in change enablement to make sure your fixes aren't actually creating more chaos. And finally, step 3 is to prevent future issues. Once you have a stable foundation, you can introduce problem management and start proactively stopping incidents before they even happen. That's how you get ahead of the curve. And to make it even easier, here is your quick reference card, a little cheat sheet. It really boils down to this: if something is broken, it's an incident. If it's just a routine request for something, that's a service request. If you're hunting for the cause of what's broken, that's a problem. And if you're implementing the fix for that cause, you're making a change. Simple as that. So I'm going to leave you with this final thought. Take a second and think about your own team, your own environment. What is that one recurring fire, that one incident that your team is always putting out over and over again? Could that actually be a problem in disguise, just waiting for someone to find its root cause and solve it for good?